The Energy Systems Integration Partnership Programme developed out of a lot of work here in UCD in electrical engineering, looking at the grid, but reflecting on the need for a multi-energy system development, a multidisciplinary approach. How do we affect the energy transition? How do we decarbonise it? And looking at it from multiple angles. The core of that is, I guess, electrical engineering and power systems work, looking at how can we ensure the grid reliability is maintained, security. We need social science, we need engineers, we need mathematicians, data scientists and computer science. We need to bring society on this transition. There's a big push for ever more renewable electricity, and we're able to show that as we push that renewable electricity higher on the grid, there's going to be certain kind of services, responses, control technologies needed. Where can we get that flexibility from? So an example of that would be looking at wastewater treatment plants. Wastewater treatment plants are a big electricity source of consumption. So if we can change how those wastewater treatment plants are operated in a way that's sympathetic to the grid, we can also improve the efficiency of wastewater treatment and actually at the same time aid the integration of further renewable electricity onto the grid. So we're working with the Irish government, providing the outputs of our research and analysis to guide the evolution of Ireland's climate action plan. So when we see targets like 80% renewable electricity, we've been doing a lot of analysis in the background, determining, is that credible? What will be needed between now and 2030? We're able to kind of guide some of the industry partners in terms of their investment decisions. So some big investments were made in technology into the grid, which will enable our renewable electricity on the basis of the research and basically the modelling of the grid that we do. So Nexus, Next Generation Energy Systems, it's very much an evolution and development building on the foundations laid by the first programme ESIP. But we identified things like transport sector, a sector which it's a big component of our energy usage, so we felt there's a lot of research needed. We formed a strand on that. We also started to consider more about cities and communities and the consumer and the just transition a lot more deeply, working with environmental psychologists here to kind of identify what does that look like. A big output of the programme ESIP was the training of a significant cohort of PhD students. There's a huge, skills gap, or certainly an emerging skills gap in terms of if we're going to affect this big transformation that I'm talking about, we're going to need people who are skilled and have the expertise and can actually have that systems perspective. The grid, the gas network, everything is kind of an interconnected system. How does it operate and function? And that kind of system thinking goes to the core of our approach and the core of the training of the students who were in ESIP and now happily the new cohort of students that we have within the Nexus programme. Societal transformation, we need to be out there engaging, and I really think that's a key role that universities can and should be playing in some of these big challenges.